up, guys? This is the Don here with Yugioh Gaming Channel, back with another deck profile for you guys at Poke Bros. My bro, coming to what place and what deck you use, bro?
Got third today, 2-1, playing Sword Soul. Lost to the cameraman himself, playing Tenpai.
Yo.
Absolute stud. Can never beat him. I can only beat him for fun. Then we beat Unchained 2-0, and then we beat a Horus variant 2-0.
Nice, nice.
So I got a little Sword Soul's like a little pet deck for me. Played at Master Duel a lot. Was one of like the big intro to comp ones, so had to get it in real life. First of all, pretty standard. Got 3 Long Yuan. I mean, he's just incredible in this deck. You got to run 3 of him. Great way to burn for 1,200 right off the rip. Another staple we got to go with. We go 3 Moye. Moye is great to reveal, get the card draw.
Moye
is
pretty nice.
Moye is just good. I mean, the next one I run two Taya. I've actually been running a lot of Taya lately, especially if I have targets with Ecclesia, which we'll show Ecclesia in a little bit. Taya's been really good to get stuff in the graveyard, give banished targets for Chang'e, which we'll get to Chang'e in a little bit. We do run a 10E package with it because I feel like 10E Sword Soul is the best way to run it. We do run 3 Adharas, especially when we get the non-effect monsters or no-effect monsters. We get the Adhara to banish, bring them back because we want to banish a lot of stuff and get our worm monsters back, especially if the Big Daddy gets banished, which we'll get to him in a second. Low-key, my MVP as of late has been Vishuddha. Vishuddha is a monster. Vishuddha, once you get him out on the field, you link into Monk of the 10E, you get to banish him, send a card back to hand. Super underrated in my opinion. I guess that's the Magic player in me, wanted to bounce stuff back to the hand. Another great card, 10E Spirit, Ashuna. Ashuna is phenomenal as well. Ashuna is a great way to get out the Vishuddha or the Adhara. Banish him, bring him out from the deck. It's great. It's honestly an Ash bait too that I like to use it for every once in a while. Kind of a wasted of an ability to bait out an Ash, but to save a Moye or to save a Taya or a Long Yuan or anything like that, it works a hell of a lot better. We do run a 1 of Shathana. Don't really use Shathana a whole lot. Shathana gets to kind of save a non-effect monster, which is mainly Monk of the 10E, or if I have a token out there or somebody nibs me, which this is not a nib-proof deck. You know, we're churning stuff out quick. I do run Incredible Ecclesia at 2. Incredible Ecclesia is really good to special summon on turn 2 if you're going second. Typical target, I'll go for a Moye if I remember to. I misplayed against the man, the myth, the legend, and went Taya when I had nothing in my graveyard. So just kind of got caught up in the moment. Ecclesia is really good. She's honestly another Ash target, Call by the Grave target, just another bait is really how I use her. I do run 1 Ringo Worm. Ringo Worm, kind of underrated. He's a level 2 tuner. We do run a lot of level 8s and a lot of level 10 synchros, but he's really good, especially when you synchro, you can banish him to make another tuner, which is a non-effect monster. Pretty nice. I mean, I think every Sword Soul deck or every multiple attribute deck needs to be running Arch Nemesis Protos. I mean, just a degenerate card. I mean, to put it bluntly, our Protos is just good. I don't think there needs to be...
Would you take back Baron de Fleur, or would you keep Protos?
Man, probably Baron.
Yeah.
I mean, take Baron and Borreload over Protos, but Protos is great. I've won so many games off Protos. It's just people don't know how to deal with him, but Protos is just, he's so good, man, and he's huge. He's a 25-3000. So that's kind of our main deck monsters for our 10E Sword Soul build. We'll get to our spells and traps. I do like to run 3 Emergence. 3 Emergence is really good. It's a great Cheek Shot target, which we'll get to the extra deck in a little bit. Cheek Shot target to grab this. You play it, you can get Protos to your hand pretty quick and pretty easy off that. I do run 2 Heavenly Dragon Circles. A lot of times with Heavenly Dragon Circle, I probably don't play it the way it's supposed to. If I do leave a Monk out on the field linked, I'll tribute it, see if I can't special summon out on the field to get something back to my hand. Just a quick way to kind of replay an attack, get him to target something else on the field. I do run 1 Sacred Summit. That's really if I need to get an emergency Moye or a Taya or something out there really quick to where I need to either bait, I need to get a Called By out, get an Ash, get a Droll out maybe potentially later on. It's just something I got to move quick, like a mini extender.
It gets better.
The last Sword Soul card I do run is Sword Soul Blackout. Highly underrated card in my opinion. If you can get the banish off it, you can make the tuner token. Tuner tokens are great in this. Balances really good with the 10E monsters and keeps just churning out our extra deck. And I mean, it's a target destroy. Target 1 worm you got, or yeah, target 1 worm monster you control and 2 cards your opponent controls and destroy them. So you can't really argue too much with that. It's pretty nice. Some non-engine stuff. You have basic staples. I do run 2 Ash. I ran 3 Ash for a while. And I bricked. I mean, that's just how it runs sometimes when you run hand traps. Two nib, really cross out targets. We'll get to cross out in a second. The controversial card of the era right now, two Spooky Dogwood. I mean, the Spooky Dogwood's just really good right now. I don't think she's ban worthy, but she is really, really good. Blanket effects are really good, and she's really good against Tenpai, especially when they're just churning stuff out, and you can kind of almost net even. Run one Droll. Pretty standard Droll. Droll's good, especially when you're playing 95% of decks nowadays. Veiler, again, just a negate. I do run one Ghost Mourner, kind of like a Veiler. We actually talked off camera a little bit, Ghost Mourner versus Veiler, so let him know down in the comments what you think. I like Ghost Mourner. I like the idea to burn him a little bit, especially with the Chang Ying and the Long Yu and all those.
Hey, that's a time card.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Can't go wrong with 3 Imperm. I think Imperm speaks for itself. It's really good. I mean, it's Imperm. We do run one cross out. All these are cross out targets. Especially me. I got a fear of getting nibbed every once in a while, especially if I break a hand, but cross out's just good. And then I do run one Pot of Desires. I side deck at least one other one, but I like to play a little bit of a mini banishment package. But that's kind of our non-engine right there. We'll go into extra. This is like my favorite part of the deck, okay? So I run one Ice Jade Ymir. Super situational. I've only summoned her a couple times, but if I do have Protoss out there, and I do have Ymir, I'll activate her. Protoss is at least safe for that one turn for being targeted or anything really messing with him. A late addition I put in was Rudy Rose Dragon. I really put the Rudy Rose in there to kind of complement, we'll talk about Chang Ying, to complement the Chang Ying, if I can get 2 Synchro 10s out there at the same time, to banish both graveyards, and the targeted negate on the destruction to summon a Black Rose, which we do have a Black Rose in here. Sinister Sovereign, really good card. 2 banishes, 2,400 worth of burn for each of them. If you synchro while she's on the field, you get to draw a card, and who doesn't love drawing cards? That's how we win games. 2 Boxia. Man, Boxia has been really, really good for me lately.
MVP today.
Yeah, I mean, I've even used Boxia's second effect to bring a Taya out, to then banish Boxia, and then just keep snowballing that way. But Boxia's bounce ability is really good for going second. I do run 2 Chikshaos. We kind of talked about Chikshaw, searching for the emergence. Get the emergence to the hand. There's the Synchro. Now we can get Protoss. And the banish for the negate is really good on an effect monster. Do run 1 Draco. Draco in itself is just a massive, massive person. Like, Draco's good. The extra attack on a monster if you destroy him, to add the attack, to get the banish on an effect monster. Really underrated. I don't summon Draco as much as I probably should. Draco's just really good. One of my other favorite synchros in the deck is Adamancipator Risen Dragite. I don't use the Excavate ability whole much, since the rock cards I do run are the 2 Nib. But if you synchro it with the Moye, now you have the water monster in the graveyard, you have the negate on board. It's pretty good. My Barone Jr., the Dollar General version of Barone. And then we have the Black Rose Dragon. Nice. Just kind of in there. If I do use the Rudy Rose effect to bring the Black Rose out, so we kind of get the value on that. Moving on from the synchros, we'll go to the links. We'll start with the given 3 Monk. Got to have 3 Monk, I think, to bounce off the 10E monsters with Yadhara, Vishuddha, Shathana, Ashuna. Like, you almost have to have them. The other link I do run is Shaman of the 10E. A lot of the times, if I don't have the Vishuddha or the Ashuna or whatever, I'll use them to kind of snowball into each other, get the 2 out on the field, link into Shaman, pitch a card, bring the Monk back, and then play with the graveyard effects.
Nice.
Yeah, Monk, I mean, Monk is really the unsung hero in this deck, because then Shaman even has some effects off Monk, and then we can use Shathana there. Side deck wise, I probably need, admittedly, to go into my side deck a little bit more, but Geki, non-target destroy. Shifter, really good unless you're playing Flu, which I've shifted against Flu before. So another cross out. I do have a Psychic End Punisher, because you can adjust some of the levels if you banish Heavenly Dragon Circle, Swordsoul Emergence, and Sacred Summit. So we can kind of play with that a little bit depending on however you want. I do run a Grand Maju if I do decide to run a banishment package. I have had this Grand Maju at like 8,000 before. You set them face down and they just crash into it. And they're like, who the hell does that? Here are the 2 Potted Desires. Just if I do want to run that banishment package. I've never played 3. I've played 2 in a game before, and Chang Ying has been massive doing it. But I've also done it where I've banished all 3 of my Longyuan and Protoss in the same 10 banish. So it's a high risk, high reward. Ecclesia, I was running her at 3. I like her better at 2 personally, especially if you go first. You don't really get the special summon off her. And then if you have 2 Ecclesia in your hand, you kind of just brick at that point. My boy Porsche got me on the Solemn Judgments. Good little Omni Negate. Pay half your life points. Life points is a resource. First one to hit 0 wins, but if you got 4,000, you still got life points. I do run another Nib in the side deck. I don't really like running Nib at 3, because if you draw 2 or you draw 3, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Cosmic Cyclone, never sided it in. It's more so if I'm playing anything like Trap Tricks, or if I'm playing like Ice Barrier, or even to get rid of a Sankin Summoning. I do have a Draco Masters of the Tenyi. I don't ever really use him. He's a Link 3. If I ever get into a problem where I'm just churning out so much stuff and I need to just burn monsters, I'll put him out there. Probably could take him out for something more useful. I just have him in there to have him. We do have a Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. I just like it. It's a really good negate. Can't really go wrong with the Ghost Ogre. And then, I know how people feel about this card. I do run a Mulch Army in the extra deck. In the side deck, sorry. I don't ever get to play Mulch Army. If I do side it in, it's only a 1 of, because I got lucky and pulled it. So, yeah, good cards. I love this deck. Swordsoul's one of my babies, and I'm thankful for Adon to let me do the deck profile.
Man, thank you again, bro, for the deck profile. You got any shout-outs for us, bro?
Man, shout out to Poke Bros. We're playing here. Been playing here for God knows how long, about a year ago. Shout out to my boy Ian, Shining Sark, Scareclaw, man of many decks. Shout out to Adon, just helping me get better.
Yo.
My boy Porsche for always helping me out. And hell, everybody in the Yu-Gi-Oh community. Y'all are dope, so.
Hell yeah, thank you again, bro,
Appreciate
for the deck profile. And I guess with that one, people, we'll catch them in the next one. Peace.